very is a very some of the contents are very, especially when it comes to ahkam, are very difficult. So maybe focusing on things that are interesting to the children and necessary for the children, but then you have to know your children. What is it that they really need? I mean, only you as a mother can answer that, and the children can answer that. Knowing what they need and finding finding what you need from the Quran, because it will be there, inshallah. Yes.
What would be your thesis statement on to the conclusion where you come to Prophet Sulaiman, peace be upon him, that he spoke to the birds, the ants, and the way you drive to your understanding, but you left it to the point that it is only your thing?
Yes. Well, I mean, the issue is that what I shared is not in any tafsir, right? So if you were to look at any tafsir, it's going to have some explanations as to a literal explanation that Sulaiman alayhi salam, that he understood literally the birds and literally the ants. And so what I was saying is that I admit that the understanding I shared may be baseless. That it was just something which, by whatever means, it just occurred to me. You can call it as an insight, or you can call it as a delusion, however you want to see it, right? But my point is that even if I'm wrong, for example, I'm still, even if it's been 20 years or so, I'm still have a conviction that my understanding is right about this. But even if it's wrong, it still causes me to think about the Quran, to have a deeper appreciation, but also it also influences our political thinking. Meaning that now when I think about politics, when I think about who should be in charge and what sort of system should be in charge, then I think of it in this way now, that the system of government, and that those who rule us have to think not just for our individual class, whatever that class is, but even the classes to which we do not belong. In other words, the ruler has to care for all within his society in order for the society to be governed with justice and fair play. So I don't know if did I understand your question correctly?
Yeah, the thing is that you try to ponder on what was the purpose. Why did Allah give him those traits
to solve
critical?
Yeah. Well, I think because the simple fact is that Sulaiman alayhi salam is a prophet, but he's also a ruler. He's also a ruler, and he rules from Jerusalem, right? He rules from this region, and he is famous in history as being a very just ruler. The Bible, has a very famous story that there were two women who were arguing about the identity of a baby. They both claimed that this particular baby belonged to them. So they took the dispute to Solomon. He says, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut the baby in half, and each will get half. So the real mother rather gave up and said, no, let the other lady have it, because it's better for the baby to be alive than to be dead. So, of course, by this way he's able to identify this is the correct mother as opposed to this other person. And so he has a lot of wisdom to him, right? And he seeks to rule with justice. So what I'm saying is that if we look at it from a big angle like that, from a big perspective like that he's not only a prophet, because some of the prophets did not have power. But actually, most of the prophets did not have political power, but he has political power. So it seems to me to make sense that since he is a just ruler, that part of justice is understanding the needs of all within the society. Like, Because some of us, we can be blind to the suffering of others who are not like us, or we can be blind to the needs of others who are not within our immediate circle, etc. But Solomon, alayhi salam, is because of his job, basically, he has to understand the needs of all. So I believe this is illustrated in the story. But again, even if the story is literal and this metaphorical meaning is not intended, that's fine. But it still, causes us to think, which is the purpose of the Quran in general. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا عَرَبِيًّا لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. Also, the metaphors. I forgot to mention this. Metaphors. وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا لِلنَّاسِ. Allah says that there are metaphors that are given in the text. Amthal, parables, metaphors, similes. They're given in order to make us think. وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا لِلنَّاسِ وَمَا يَعْقِلُهَا إِلَّا الْعَالِمُونَ. And none benefit from these metaphors except people who have knowledge and who are seeking to act upon that knowledge.
So, the format of these sessions, as we agreed with Imam Shamsuddin and the other speakers, is going to be the first part, which was the speaker speaking, the second part was the general participation, post-talk, and the third part, which was basically the most important part that they negotiated on, was that after the second part, all us older folks, parents, and so forth, will depart from the room, and the speakers will have a jamming session with the youth alone, in which, guys, you are free to throw whatever you want at the speaker, and the speaker
You throw whatever you want.
Where the rotten tomatoes at?
So as you can see, they don't get metaphors.
Your
Your whole talk was useless.
So you, whatever questions, whatever you want to have, throw it. And the one thing which you have to be very clear is that whatever questions you ask of the speaker and you get answers stays amongst you. So you don't have to share it with your parents if there isn't a general consensus amongst you that it can be shared. Correct? That's what we talked about. Okay? It is possible that one of you may have a question which he or she is uncomfortable speaking to about with his or her parents. This is the time you do that. The rest of you have to have that maturity of character now that you respect the privacy of the questions. Whatever is going to